Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, December 5th, 2023. Jeepers, I lost my sheet already. Oh, this will be funny. This is perfect because I'm a terrible host. I'm Dryden.com founder Ben Dryden. Fitzy, I received an email last week from someone who basically told me that I'm too dumb to host this show and that you shouldn't really be giving your views or opinions on things. So what do you think? Should this be our last show?
Well, I'm the sheriff, as you all know, and no, this shouldn't be our last show. And people's opinions are good to take in, and we'll just leave it at that.
Well, that's too bad. I was actually looking forward to Tuesdays off in the morning. That'd be kind of nice. And by the way, this is our 165th show. Where have you been? I've been hosting the show for 165, and I already know that I'm too dumb to host a show. You're just now figuring that out? Whatever. Welcome to the big show, everyone. It is the Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy show presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Like Fitzy and I, they believe it's the little things that make a big difference. Give them a call today and see what they can do for you. The number's right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. In this week's episode, Barron County hosts Shot with a Cop. I think that was just last night. A man is facing his 10th OWI offense after a Barron County deputy discovers him passed out in his vehicle. An insider article that we had, a convicted sex offender is now facing new charges for possession of child pornography. And lastly, a Chetek man was arrested twice in the same week. I'm trying not to laugh when I say that out loud. And is facing, because it's a serious thing.
Right.
But jeepers. And is facing multiple charges, including assault on a police animal. But we begin the show, as we always do, with sports. Fitzy, the 4 college football playoff teams were announced on Sunday. Michigan 1, Washington 2, Texas 3, and Alabama 4. There's a lot of people who feel that the undefeated Power 5 conference champions Florida State should have been in at number 4 instead of Alabama. So, Fitzy, did the college football playoff committee get it right by leaving them out?
You shouldn't be in a college football playoff. If you go undefeated, you should be in, at least have a chance at it. And next year they will, because next year it expands to 12.
Yeah.
And I think this is the whole problem. So I get it. They have a lighter schedule. If I'm going to play, lighter schools, then yeah, I can go 12-0 and be great. But then you should be included in that. And they have their strength of schedule, blah, 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 all that stuff. So I'll
still waiting for an answer.
Yeah, I'll put Alabama in. Alabama. So.
Well, I guess the big debate there was, is it the most deserving team or is it the best team? Michigan, Alabama, they're now going to face each other. That is the game of the year, in my opinion, because I don't care who wins and it goes to the final. That is the game of the year, is that on January 1st, I think. By the way, on the 30th, it's going to be Georgia and Florida State playing. That's going to be interesting to see. If Florida State actually beats Georgia, that will make it look worse. I wanted to see Florida State in. I guess I am more of the deserving. You went 13-0. I don't care if you have a backup quarterback now, but 13-0, Power 5 conference, and you win come on. Yeah. You got to put them in. But I totally understand. You can make an argument for both. I would be fine with both. I would have preferred to see Florida State in.
Yeah, I think Michigan ran over Florida State.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe everybody will, but I don't know. But I don't know that Michigan runs over Alabama. Alabama.
That's going to be a fantastic game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I love college football this time of the year.
Me too.
I see the Badgers and Gophers both got bowl games, so that's good. So
yeah, I think they're going against LSU, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Badgers?
On New Year's Day. That'd be a good game, actually.
Yeah.
So how about the Packers or the 49ers? Who's got the bigger win? 49ers over the Eagles or the Packers over?
Well, the 49ers, at the very beginning of the season, I had said on the show, I'm all in on the 49ers this year. They're going to win the Super Bowl, and this is going to cement Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy
is my guy. He's a future Hall of Famer, man, right there. It wasn't just that they beat the best team in football, or was considered to be. They smoked them. It was like 49-13 or something. That's crazy. But no, the bigger win really is the Packers. And, I'm not a big fan of the Packers. And the Chiefs have their problems ever since they got rid of Tyreek Hill. Patrick Mahomes is the same, who, by the way, Tyreek Hill absolutely should win the MVP this year. I know he's a wide receiver, but he absolutely should. No, the Packers had the bigger win. Nobody saw that coming, right? I mean, come on. Unless you're a Packers diehard fan, nobody actually thought they were going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
What do you think? Who had the bigger win?
Well, I 100% agree with the Packers. I mean, that's a good win, 3 games in a row for the Packers. Good, solid wins, 3 games in a row. I mean, they make it to 6-6. They're in the wild card hunt. If it's going to come down to that. Maybe it'll come down to that Packer-Viking game on New Year's Eve for the division. Detroit's still in there, but the Vikings play Detroit twice, so it could come down to that last week of the season being somewhat important in the NFC Central. So
yeah,
I got a Taylor Swift question. Wait, I want to ask you a Taylor Swift question. So Taylor Swift's at the Green Bay game, and they really don't show her, talk about her. Do you think that's an NFL good move or bad move? I mean,
bad move.
Yeah, I
bad
agree.
Move, 100% bad move. I didn't actually watch the game, so I didn't know that. But there were tons of other celebrities that were there. Right. In Green Bay, no celebrities go to Green Bay in December, ever. And why did they go? Because they wanted their pictures taken too. Because who's going to be there? Taylor Swift. I don't really know. I'm sure I would know a song of hers if it was on, but I'm not like a big fanboy or anything. But no, they should absolutely promote this. Good Lord, it's good for the sport. Not the sport. It's good for ratings, and there's different people that are watching now.
Right. But if I'm watching a Taylor Swift concert, do I want to hear about Travis Kelce? That was the point. So if I'm there to watch Travis Kelce, do I really care about Taylor Swift? I thought it was an interesting thing back and forth, and I think the NFL, I think they talked too much about it in the beginning, but I don't think they talked enough about it this week to promote it, because I think there is a new group of fans watching, and I think the NFL should capitalize on it.
That's right. All right, we have a lot to get to, including Barron County host Shop with a Cop, man facing contempt OWI. We have an insider article I want to talk about, and of course, the Chetek man who was arrested twice in the same week. We'll get to all of that and more after 15 seconds from a word from Spooner Health.
Satisfaction surveys and in conversations with patients, they appreciate the fact that staff got to know them. Staff really took their preferences into account, and they just feel grateful that they are being cared for as a person.
To learn more about our services, visit SpoonerHealth.com.
All right. Yeah, a lot of Packers fans. We should start doing like a Packers. No, I can't.
Pregame?
I can't.
Packer pregame.
I mean, whatever. That's what people want.
We're going to rally behind the Bill Michaels show,
Who's Bill Michaels?
Well, he is a sports radio guy, and he comes up to Rice Lake for celebrity golf, but he's a big Packer. He's out of Milwaukee, and he covers all of Wisconsin sports.
We should get like a recorded 5 minutes with him. And we could drop it in just like with a Spooner Health commercial or something.
Sure
actually, it'd be kind of cool just to talk to him. All right, we're getting off. We have so much to get to today. Something the most recent, technically the most recent, was just last night, wasn't it? The Shop with a Cop. So tell us about that. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was awesome. The greatest night. Still on cloud 9. 79 kids we took shopping. They got to spend $200. And it's not – they don't spend it on themselves. They got to buy presents for – their family. They come with lists for their grandpa, grandma, mom, dad, brother, sister. I mean, the one kid had 6 siblings she was buying for. So she said, I don't want to buy anything for myself. I want to spend it on them. Anyway, I snuck her an extra $50 gift card. We got it. I mean, the chief of Barron, we snuck her an extra $50 gift card we had. So she got to buy something for herself. I mean, but it's good for the cops. We get to actually take the kids shopping. We took 80 kids at Farm and Fleet and Walmart. Walmart and Farm and Fleet had snacks for all these kids when they got there. It's not easy to herd 80 kids into a Walmart and make them concentrate for 1 hour on spending $200. I mean, it was just cool, the stuff they were buying. The one kid got to buy a TV for him and his family to play video games on. It was just so cool. I mean, it was just awesome. And then we go have this big meal put on by Adventures Restaurant in Rice Lake, free of charge, tacos for everybody. The Law Enforcement Foundation raised a bunch of money. Yesterday, I got a check from Jeepers. No, I'm not going to think about it. But yesterday, we got a $3,000 donation from no, I'm not going to get it out of my head. I'll get it before the end of the show. Wolf's Den in Cameron. They're a campground just outside of Cameron. And he sent it out to all these campers and said, anybody that wants to give to this. And he ended up raising $3,000 and dropped off a check yesterday for $3,000 to us.
So he went, hold on a second. So he went, so first of all, $3,000, Wolfstead, we're not glossing over this. We're totally giving them some love. Because what? Yeah. That's awesome. So Wolfstead, right? And it's a campground. It's a campground?
It's a campground bar, restaurant just outside of Cameron. And they went out and like I said, they have a bunch of, it's a permanent campground in the summer. He went out and said, hey, we're going to raise some money. Any of you campers want to give to this? You know, you can give $100, $200, $300. And there he went and raised $3,000.
And I'm assuming not all, well, I shouldn't assume. Do you happen to know or have a guess? Are these people local?
No.
Or from other areas or a combination?
I would say they're all from out of the area.
Out of there. That's what I was thinking. And they still put that. That is awesome.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about this last night. And everybody was happy at Walmart. Everybody loves seeing these cops and these smiles and these kids. And
I bet retail thefts were down at Walmart for about 2 hours.
That's right. Plus all the thefts were down. The bad guys were like, whoa, what's this?
Right. Yeah.
You know, but everybody's so happy. And if we can take that happiness and make it 12 months of the year, we've always tried to do that on this show, take that happiness, that good, and make it not just the month of December. Let's be positive the whole month of December about Christmas. You know, let's do that and make it 11 more months of the year. And let's make it 12 months of the year. Be this nice to our store clerks and to our people that work. And, you know, like I said, Walmart was huge last night. It was just so special. The Law Enforcement Foundation, lots of different sponsors. The men's club gave us $500 last week, and a lot of different groups donate to this. Individuals donate, and banks donate, and I mean, so many people are donating this time of year to so many organizations. We're blessed to be one of those organizations that get to make a difference in somebody's life, and it's just a little bit, but it's the little things that make a big difference.
It is,
and that's what we did last night. And like I said, in Adventures, we try to pay for this meal and they don't charge us and they want to do this. And it's
tacos, wasn't it?
Tacos. It's awesome. Buddy. Best tacos around.
It is. Little things do make a big difference. Last night I was having a meeting at Lakeview in Shell Lake, Lakeview Bar and Grill. And this older gentleman comes in and he's got, I don't know what they're called.
So you get a write-off? You call all your meals out meetings?
No. It's right. Well, I should do that though. Holy cow. No, it was more of a personal kind of meeting with someone. But anyway, this older man comes in and he's got one of those, I don't remember what they're called. It's not a cane, but it's the thing with the four wheels in front and you used when you're a walker. Yeah, right. Yeah, sorry. And then two younger people, younger is in probably 50s, maybe 60, I don't know. So anyway, they came in and I don't know, it's just something came over me and I went over and I said, you don't know me? Ugh, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. So stupid. I said, you don't know me. And I didn't introduce myself. I said, you don't know me, but here's $20. Put it towards your meal. Merry Christmas. And it just made me feel good. And it was great. They kept looking over and waving. And like, I don't know if I'm like, do you want more money or something? I'm like, geez.
My meal's $25.
Right. But it is just the little things that make a big difference. It doesn't even have to be donations or money or something. Right. It could be saying something positive. Or, you know, like the person we talked about at the beginning of the show, or the email that we received. How about just don't send any hate mail for a week or a month? Like, that's a start. Right. You don't even have to do something positive. Just how about we don't do anything negative for a little while?
And you can send an email and it's constructive criticism, but you can't be negative in there and say you suck. I mean, and I'm not saying that's what's said because I didn't read all your email, but you just can't. Don't dig the person. Just say, hey, I think it'd be better if you did this. Thanks. That's constructive criticism. You know, we'll take it with a grain of salt, and maybe we'll change. Who knows? But you can't just fire stuff out. But no, Shop with the Cop,
that's
greatest
awesome.
night.
I love Shop with the Cop
Foundation. Thanks to all the cops. I would say there was 45 to 55 cops last night there. And so that was pretty special across the city. The Grinch came and tried to steal the gifts, and he got arrested. But then he changed his heart grew 3 times too big, and he gave everybody back, and then he gave everybody a candy cane. So
all right, slow down. I didn't know that happened.
Do you guys? The Grinch changed last night. Yeah, happened.
Wait, so a literal? Well, you got to explain this now. So does this happen every year, or are you talking like metaphorically here, or like literally they had a Grinch there?
And the Grinch came and tried to steal the kids' gifts, but the police arrested him. But then he
Shut
changed.
up.
His heart grew, and Santa came and changed the Grinch, and everybody was happy. So we had
Do
a
you
little
do that
fun.
every year?
No, this was the first year we had Santa and the Grinch there.
That is such a who came up with that idea? Do you happen to know? Because that is brilliant.
Pastor Cody from the Maranatha Church, he's the head of our law enforcement foundation. He came up with that.
That is, I love that.
It was cool. And then the Grinch had this big heart on when he came back from being arrested, and then his heart grew 3 times too big, and so it was awesome.
Come on, man. That brings out the feels. It just does.
Right.
It just does.
Yep.
Oh, and Stacy, look at that. I just donated 30 new toys to Mountain Fire Department for kids in this community. Blessings to you, Stacy. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then it's just the season of giving. It's snowing out today. And besides, the roads are very slippery. I'm just looking. We've had 2 more crashes, and we've had about 6 or 7 this morning already. So drive a little slower. It's going to melt. It'll get there, but the roads are very slippery this morning. Like I said, we've had a couple rollover crashes. Nothing real serious. But I see we're on two crashes right now. So.
Hey, good morning, Renee. Ben, you've been playing Santa this year, but everyone can be a Santa. Yes, Christmas should be year round. I believe that's awesome. Yeah, just share the love. All right, so hey, now we have to switch it to some.
Yeah, let's do some bad stuff.
Yeah, right. Well, it's a little heavier. So you sent out 2 press releases yesterday. This is the first one, and a man is facing his 10th OWI offense after a Barron County deputy discovered him passed out in his vehicle. For people who didn't see that, what happened?
So that's exactly what happened.
There you go.
We got
Next.
a call. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
There you
go. Got a call of a vehicle like parked at the end of a driveway or something, kind of suspicious vehicle. And at 3:00 in the morning, that is a suspicious vehicle. Again, please call that stuff into us. That's what we want people to do. I don't know if the person was driving by or saw it and didn't know if someone was in it, just thought the truck was in a weird spot. Ultimately, our deputy pulled up and it was in the roadway, and the subject was passed out behind the wheel. Ultimately, he was checked for alcohol, field sobriety test done, and he was arrested on suspicion of operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol. OWI happened to be his 10th offense. He is currently held in the Barron County Jail. I believe he was charged yesterday. I'm not 100% sure. And I think he was also on probation. He didn't have a driver's license. He shouldn't have been driving. He was from the Wheeler area. I don't know if we've had any other contact with him, so I don't know if his OWI, the other 9 were in other counties or what. But alcohol's part of the addiction process. We're not making fun of him. We're not doing anything. But we can't have it. We can't have people driving around with 10th offense OWIs. And so that's a big number. That's going to be prison, right? I mean, he's been there
way past probation.
Yeah, we're way past that. Yeah, there's a mandatory minimum, I'm sure, on that. And it sounds like he served some mandatory minimums already and got back out.
Poor guy. I mean, so trying to find a positive out of this, I'm glad he was passed out in a car.
Correct.
Because if he was kept driving or was able to continue to drive, and I don't know the circumstances surrounding it, but at least nobody else was hurt. And in a weird way, because nobody was hurt, and sounds like he's going to get some prison, and sometimes maybe that's what people need, right? Just a change of something, and maybe he can get his help there. Obviously, up till now, he hasn't, but he definitely would. This would warrant prison, obviously. But also, my heart does go out to him, because I don't think anybody just wakes up and says, this is what I want to do. And if he knew that's how his day was going to go and going, yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Sounds like it could be, or maybe not this specifically, but anyone in that situation, yeah, there's some issues there that need to get resolved, and hopefully he can. But I also think, absolute prison, duh. But geez.
I don't think he was very old, right? Was he 44?
I don't have it in front of me.
I don't have it either. So,
no, he wasn't 44.
Yeah, I think he was. I'm looking quick.
10 of, okay, I was just gonna do the same thing. I don't think so. Wasn't that the other one?
Maybe it was.
Where's the 10th? There it is. Oh, he does. No, he doesn't look 44.
Well, I have the age, don't I?
44. What the what? You're right.
Yeah, I thought of it. Yeah.
That's a lot of.
Yeah.
That's a lot of.
That's a lot of.
In a short amount of time, is a rehab in prison. I think just being away from alcohol is probably like kind of a rehab.
Right, and that's it. I don't get
really
that
know.
part. I mean, if you go to prison for a year, is there rehab? I assume there's programs in prison. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if it's probably not rehab. It's probably programs, step programs, things like that. So I don't know the answer to that, and so hopefully he gets the help he needs. That's all.
No
I can
kidding.
say.
And glad that nobody, deputies weren't hurt, officers weren't hurt, the individual wasn't hurt, nobody else got hurt, and then the court process takes over, and that's how it should be.
Right.
All right. We had an insider story. It was actually a week ago. It was after our show, I think. Here's the short version. The short version. Our headline was, a convicted sex offender is facing new charges for possessing child pornography. A cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children started an investigation in Barron County into suspected possession of child pornography. The investigation led to the arrest of a Heath Jasoy of Elmina, Wisconsin. Jasoy was previously convicted of possession of child pornography in 2018. He's now facing 10 counts of felony possession of the aforementioned. In 2023, I think it was in July, a Barron County Sheriff's detective was assigned to the cyber tip received from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Skipping. Online circuit court records show that Jasoy previously, that was from above, I think. Sorry. I just quickly copied a few things and put them down to the short version. There we go. So back then, he was ordered to serve 3 years of initial confinement in state prison, followed by 5 years of extended supervision. He was released in February 2021. Of course, now he's facing new things. And the court hearing was held earlier, and the judge in Barron County ordered a $10,000 signature bond. So are you familiar with that case? And then, of course, as we always do, now next week, we're going to have Sawyer County Judge John Yackel on for the show, so we can kind of talk. I can't wait for that show, by the way, the three of us. I mean, I'm too dumb to host a show, so we'll have to find somebody else to fill in. Right. I can't have a judge and a sheriff on at the same time. Right. But are you familiar with that case? And what are your thoughts on a signature bond for this?
Yeah. I'm not okay because the child porn cases are mandatory minimums. So I'm not okay with that, especially with the previous conviction. I think we'll get into that with the next one. So I'm not okay with the signature bond. But small cash, but cash is cash still. You got to have it. So
I know. And
when you have mandatory minimum sentences, I think there should be cash bonds. But that's just my opinion.
Got it. And were you a part? It was a detective, one of your detectives. That was a part of this. Obviously, this is an ongoing thing, I suppose, or maybe it's already done for you guys. So I don't know what you can say, what you can't. But do you have an understanding of what the situation is? And is there anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah, no, I can't comment because that's still an active case. So I'm not. I don't want to comment on that. But child porn's bad. We're going to come after you. We're going to find you.
There's so much.
We work on the internet crimes against children cases all the time. They're not fun for our detectives to work on. We've talked a lot about that. But our detectives do a great job of doing that.
Tell me about the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and the relationship that you have with them as a sheriff's office.
Yeah, we get tips from them, direct from them. We then determine if that tip is here, if it's in the city of Rice Lake or Turtle Lake or wherever, and we can farm that tip out if we need to, if it's not our jurisdiction. Some of them get them direct, like the city of Rice Lake. They have a detective that gets their tips directly. So, sometimes it might be just outside the city or just in the city, and then we trade back our tips, and then we work those tips. They give us the tips information. These aren't people that just view it. For the most part, they're not people that just view it. You have to share it and download it and do different things. So, so that's where we're at with that. It's just not. It's not even fun to talk about, but we're coming after you if you do share it and sell it or produce it or do any of that stuff. And again, most of ours is just sharing of photographs. It's not the production of it locally. I'm not saying it doesn't happen and we all need to be aware of it, but we've got to be somewhat careful with that.
Yeah. Good morning, Mike Schaefer as well. And, I think we've talked about this before. I'm not seeking out these stories when we do the crime of court, look for felonies and stuff. And we've talked about this before. It seems like every other, or maybe 2 out of 3 of our insider stories, because those are for our original crime of court stories, are about children, either digitally, online stuff, or actual physical acts against a minor in a sexual capacity. And, we've talked about what is this? Is it caused by something else? I think there's a whole bunch. You had mentioned COVID, and we don't need to go through and rehash all of those things, but this stuff continues. But I'm still glad that we see these things, because that means law enforcement is doing their job. That National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, this is a government-funded, grants and stuff, right? Do you know? Can people donate to them?
I assume you can donate to them. That's a federal organization run by the federal government. And
I'm not giving more money to the federal government.
They were a big help during the Claus case. So they don't just do this part of it. They do the missing part of kids too. And so they were a huge part of us, and it actually sent people here for us to use. So we have a personal relationship with them besides these tips. They don't get involved except send us the tips. And then we work with our state DCI agency. They have the experts to help us with the technical part of these tips.
So many things, so many agencies, so many people have to all work together.
Yeah,
it sounds like, that's a part I think that we citizens don't see. You'll send out a press release. We'll do a story about it. But it's the behind the scenes stuff that, holy cow, it took a long time to do it, and not just resources from the Barron County Sheriff's Office, but all the other agencies that are a part of this kind of behind the scenes aspect of it. That is just incredible. It is.
Right.
All right, so last one that we had here, and this was a press release sent out yesterday. A Chetek man was arrested twice in the same week and is facing multiple charges, including assault on police animal. So for people who didn't read that, I'm assuming it was on your Facebook page. Your press release is on our website at dryden.com. What was the situation there?
So on Wednesday night, we got called to a domestic abuse situation where a woman was assaulted physically and escaped the residence.
Allegedly. Or maybe not.
Okay. You can say that. And so ultimately we met with the victim, survivor, in this case. We're trying to not use the word victim. The survivor here, and got the report. Ultimately, he needed to be taken into custody. He was inside the residence, refused to come out. We, surrounded it. We called him on the phone. We yelled through our PA. We turned our sirens on. No movement in the house. Ultimately, we needed to go in and get him so she could go back home. And ultimately, we sent our canine in there. We brought an armored vehicle there to protect our team when they went up. We didn't call the SWAT team, but we used the armored vehicle. And we knew he was in there. We didn't think he had any weapons based on the information we had. We thought the canine could handle it. The canine did locate him hiding in a bedroom. The canine did apprehend him. As the canine apprehended him, he punched at the dog, choked the dog, according to the criminal complaint, which you can get online. And he released. The dog released. We had to physically apprehend him. We tried to tase him. That didn't work. And he was physically taken into custody by our deputies. One of our deputies got hit in the nose by a piece of equipment, and it was just wasn't good. But we got him in custody. He was charged on Friday last week with several charges.
Before you go on, real quick, you said the taser didn't work. What do you mean didn't work? Like the taser itself didn't work, or
it didn't connect? It didn't connect like we wanted to, and I don't know where it was hit. I don't know. I just know the taser was ineffective when we tried to tase him.
Got it.
So,
all right. So then on Friday, charged.
Yep, and he was released on $1,000 cash bond, not to have contact with the residents or the person that was in the domestic, the survivor here in this case. So, and so ultimately he did have contact with her, attempted contact with her, and then ultimately did go to the residence, and we got an arrest warrant for him. And at this time, because of the actions of him last time, we decided to call the SWAT team this time. He wouldn't come out again. We tried to do this without the SWAT team. We did what we call a surround and call out. Just basically call you on the phone, call you in the PA, and ultimately that didn't work. Our team was called, and we used a distraction device, which basically a concussion device, a big loud boom with a flash outside of the window to get his attention. Hey, maybe you didn't realize we're out here. Here's another thing to say, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
Come to the door and everything's going to be okay. He chose not to, again, come out. We used the ram to break down a door and break a window. He ultimately then decided to come out of the house, and he was taken into custody. So he's currently in jail. He'll be charged today. Again, that's just from the press release.
Yeah, yeah.
So he violated the no contact is what he's being held for right now.
You said the first time you went there, based on information that you'd received, you did not believe he had any weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the second time, obviously this individual just went through that. Was there any change of thought there that perhaps this time he did, or did you still feel that probably not, but let's be prepared anyway, let's get this swap, because again, as you said, last time and how that went, did anything change there? I mean, do you get new information, or obviously this takes it up a level? I mean, we just went through this a few days ago, so we can do this again, but do you get more information, or because it's taken to the next level, does it change anything for you?
I think I made that decision, and that I can talk about because I made the decision. I made the decision after consulting with my admin team, but I made the decision to call the SWAT team based on his non-compliance last time. If you non-compliance 2 days ago, your non-compliance is probably still there, and it's probably going to be ramped up a little bit. So, and obviously our use of force continuum allows us to use force one level above the force you're using. And so I just felt it was appropriate. We almost used the SWAT team on Wednesday night. We just had enough people there and felt we could do it based on the information we had. We didn't believe he was going to be non-compliant like he was. Most people are pretty compliant when a canine gets involved. They want to hide till the last second, but ultimately, just before that second, usually everybody gives up. I thought maybe he was barricaded in a room. Once the dog found him in that room, that he would give up and we would control the dog. Didn't happen that way. So when he was non-compliant, I made the decision to use our people that are special trained in tactics to handle this.
Well, I would think that these aren't extraordinarily rare, these circumstances. Maybe that they're common, or not saying that they are common, but you typically probably don't send out a SWAT for every what was the original call? What was the call? It was a domestic, right? That's what the call was?
Yeah, right.
You're typically not going to send out a SWAT team. I'm just assuming this. Can you confirm that typically we just don't send out a SWAT team for a domestic?
We don't.
Not that domestics aren't serious, but it doesn't meet the level of calling everybody, call the boys in. So that seems a little extreme. But when it all finished, did you look back on this and go, you know what? Now that I know what I know, would you have done that the first time? And is this one of those, boy, I should have, or actually based on the information I had at the time, if I would have done it the same way because I didn't know some of the stuff until it ended. But do you look back on some of these decisions you make and go, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done this.
No. Yeah, you always should look back and make sure you did it. No, I think what I did Wednesday night, I'm 100% okay with.
It seems appropriate.
We meet with our team afterwards, and we meet with whether it's the SWAT team or just the patrol division. We meet and kind of debrief the call to some degree. We could probably do a better job even debriefing it, but as the week goes on, people will come and say, "Hey, what do you think?" We'll talk more about it. We continue to talk and get better at everything we do. What I would have done different on Saturday night is waited a little longer for our SWAT team because it takes a while to get a warrant. And getting that warrant and having our SWAT team ready, and there's a delay, and we were standing outside on this road for several hours Saturday night. It's not really warm out, so I would have waited a little bit longer to try not to waste our deputies' times. And, and it costs a lot of money. I mean, and I don't get reimbursed for any of that. I can't go after this guy for any of our SWAT time. Now, I wish his bond would go. I wish they'd take his bond and give it to us, but they can't do that. But they can take his bond. They can't give it to us. We don't take bonds. That's a different question for a different day. A lot of people aren't happy with the $1,000 cash bond on the seriousness of his first crimes. Not crazy about it. It was cash. So, he paid it. I think he should lose it. Again, we don't go back and do that. That takes a lot of courts and a lot of time, but I think we should probably do that. Maybe that helps us in the long run. Makes a lot of work in the short run, but in the long run, it's kind of like people putting meth people in prison. When you start to put meth people in prison, it slows the meth down a little bit. So,
yeah, Tamara says that the canines are absolutely amazing. God bless them dogs. My 14-year-old did a huge research project and presentation at school about canines. That's fantastic. And I was going to, I'm glad that she brought up that up. You had mentioned that you thought that when the dog was there, located, that this individual would have probably said, okay, you got me. Why did you feel that way? What is it about a dog that changes everything?
Have you seen one?
Oh, no, I know the answer.
They're big, and they're not happy, and they bite you.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can't talk to them. Yeah. There is no like discussion and trying to, okay, how about that? No, you do. They don't care. Right. They have a job to do, and they're going to do it until they're told not to by their handler.
And we give multiple announcements, our dogs are trained, our handlers are trained. Great. Our dogs are trained. They're certified. Have you seen the teeth? Exactly. Going at you. And you don't have that bite sleeve on, and and I don't want to bite anybody. It's a pain from an administration standpoint when we bite somebody. That's use of force. That's all this. People, people don't like it. People sue us all the time when they get bit by a dog because they're
That's
mad.
The dumbest thing.
Right. Yeah, I know.
It's not dumb. I'm sorry. Sue whoever you want to sue, but don't expect to win these. That's what I mean by it's the dumbest thing. It's a waste of everybody. That's dumb. But hey, go ahead and do it.
Just give up. That's what you have to do. When the police ask you to come out, if he thought he was in the right to be in his house, then come out and talk to us about it. When we first got there, the SWAT team would have been called. Maybe you get arrested, maybe you don't. But then fight us in the judge and fight us in court. Don't make us take out with the SWAT team. Right.
Yep.
And
my dad, of course, former sheriff, I remember asking him some of these questions, what do I do with this and this? And he's like, well, first of all, don't commit crimes. And then, then police won't show up at your door. That's step number one. But regardless of anything that happens, if you feel that you've been wronged by anything, or if you can pull over and the cop is maybe he's a jerk and he's saying or you think he's doing something he shouldn't be doing or illegal, sir, he goes, don't say anything. Answer his questions. Don't give any more information you need to. Be polite, be respectful, even if they're not being polite or respectful to you. Right. Answer them all. If they take you to jail, they take you to jail. Then call a lawyer, and then we go to court. That's how it's supposed to work. Don't fight it there. Physical fighting, which that's also true. But no, this is how it's supposed to go. It just is.
And a lot of times in today's world, and not even 15 years ago when your dad told you that story, but now we even have more. We have body cams, squad cameras, not every time, not every second of the day they're on. Excuse me. But you have that in your pocket too. So you can tell me if the cop's been rude to you or whatever it is. I've never said cops aren't perfect. We've never not said this on the show, but yeah. So you have that going for you. All you have to do is comply with the law enforcement. We don't have any of these issues we've had across the nation. And again, cops aren't perfect, but you can't have drugs in your system and fight us and then say it's our fault. That's not okay. So anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I understand. And going back to you said about survivor instead of victim, I want you to explain why that is. But I know I use most of the time, like in articles, it'll be victim, not survivor. Right. Largely because in criminal complaints, it doesn't say survivor. It says victim. Right. And we base everything based off of a criminal complaint. We do a lot of these our crime and court stories. So that's the reason that we use that information as victims. And I typically end up saying victim out loud because that's what I'm used to reading because that's what the court document says. Could you quickly explain why, especially when we're talking about these, like not a written story, but we try to use the word survivor? For people who don't know, what is the reason is that literally your Verizon original ringtone? You haven't figured out how to change your ringtone yet?
What? So
explain the victim versus survivor thought process.
That came from our friends at Embrace. They're the ones that, and it's just victim is, I don't know, has a negative connotation to it. Like I'm a victim. Oh my gosh, it's a busy day. So victim versus survivor, we just want victims to, they are victims, we get it, but they are survivors. It's a more positive thing. It's, I've gotten through this. I'm a survivor. We don't say when you've got through cancer, you're a cancer survivor. When you got through domestic abuse, you're not that's
a good analogy, not a cancer victim. Well, I suppose you are too. They're both right. Yeah.
Right. But one's more positive, and I love
like
that theory, and we're just not good at it yet of changing it from victim to survivor. And survivor saying I went through something, but a victim says I'm going through that too. So,
well, usually though we only use this in terms. A lot of times it's domestic, right? Typically that's where we're going to see these words used more than victim, I mean survivor more than victim. But if somebody comes up to me and punches me in my face just walking down the road, hey, you're that dumb host. On Dryden, and just punches me. I'm not really a survivor of that. I'm just a victim. But no, I totally get it. I'm not trying to argue the point. Just for people who don't know, I think we're trying to say the word survivor more. We're already getting close to the end of our time here. There was a
Tiffany
question.
Says it, though. Tiffany said it's empowering, and I think that's
outstanding.
A good word.
I love it. But I wonder if I should start changing. No, I can't, because I think I have to wait until after the case is finished before I could. I don't know what to do. Where is I thought there was somebody asked about how's Jamie Kloss. There it is.
Well, we don't talk about her. I mean, she's living her own life. We don't need to talk about it.
No problem. We have our forecast here from Dirk Miller. The snow's over for some time to come now. The rest of the week dry. Nice warming trend. Highs in the 30s today, low 40s rest of the week. Thursday could be near 50. Good night.
Yeah.
Awesome. A little gusty Thursday, Friday. Oh, wow. Wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. No big winter storms or cold snaps in sight for some time to come. Wow, we love you today, Dirk.
Green Christmas, maybe. All this is going to melt.
I'm going to our family. We're going to, well, not all of our family. We're going to Chicago for Christmas. So that'd be great, because I don't want to drive through a snowstorm.
There you go.
At all. And I also want to give a plug for Washburn, not a plug, but Washburn County Sheriff's Office is hiring a patrol deputy. And I just put that up yesterday, and they're paying like $32 an hour or something. So, probably more than you guys. I don't know.
Not even close.
No, whatever. Well, still, you'd be in Washburn County instead of Barron. All right, cool. That's all. Wow, we had a lot going on. Hey, did you see the show? Brad Schimmel was on
I guess he's running for something.
Yeah, apparently. Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Wisconsin Supreme Court. Yeah. So that was. I don't know if you had, well, it sounds like you didn't have a chance to watch it. You've been too busy, but that was great. We were the first ones to be able to have him on for a show after his announcement. So it was weird doing a show because it was recorded, which I like doing live, not recorded. And it was at like 5 at night, 5 or 6, and it's just weird doing a show at 5 or 6 o'clock at night.
You probably had your pajamas on by then.
Pretty much. Yeah. He said, "When do you want to do it?" I'm like, "Well, I start work at 4. I go to bed at like 8, so not too late."
Right.
All right. What do you got coming up this week?
Just some meetings, nothing real spectacular. So just go out and make a difference. Let's enjoy the holiday season, and let's enjoy each other, and just go out and let's make peace in the world. How's that?
I love it. I love it. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, a.k.a. Clancy Brook, and a.k.a. Dum Dum. You've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Give Brian a call today. The number's right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. Fitzy and I are taking a 6-day, 23-hour, and 15-minute break. Next week, as a reminder, Sawyer County Judge John Yackel will be joining Fitzy and I. Maybe we'll even put in a preview or an announcement beforehand if people have some questions they would like to ask. I can't wait. We've had him on like 5 or 6 times, but never with you and I.
Yeah.
So
and
this
you probably
is
can't answer everything, just like I can't answer everything. So don't.
Doesn't mean we can't ask.
That's right. And we'll tell you no.
Yeah, that's right. No comment. No comment. No comment. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Fitzy, as always. Go make a difference. Because remember, it's the little things that make a big difference. Have a blessed day.